Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuning in, I've been talking about this conversation for the past couple of weeks. I have legendary actor, singer Leon joining the FloWay show tonight, man. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, good. Thanks for having me. Nice to talking to you. All that good stuff.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining me, man. I reached out and he was like, no problem, let's do it, man. It's definitely, it's a pleasure, man, to be talking to you, man. Can you hear me? You good?
I can hear you. I can hear you. No, definitely. You know, and I appreciate it. Definitely.
Definitely.
You know, the funny thing about this pandemic is that, you know, I actually have time to talk to, reach out, be reached out to by, you know, quite a few people that I wouldn't have the time or be in touch with normally. So I'm taking advantage of that. I've always been a people person. I think most people like me, you know, so I like to keep it that way.
Definitely. Blessings, King. I'm from New York. I grew up in the Bronx. I know that you grew up in Mount Vernon, right?
Mount Vernon and the Bronx.
Mount Vernon. Yeah. For those who don't know, Mount Vernon is pretty much in the Bronx. It's a part of the Bronx. I say it may be the better side of the Bronx.
Money earned in Mount Vernon.
Money earned in Mount Vernon for sure.
Yeah.
How was it like for you growing up in New York at the time in the 60s?
You said in the 60s?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about that because I was too young to, I mean, I would tell you more about what it's like in the 70s because then that's when I was in grade school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into the 70s a little bit. You growing up in the 70s, how was it like for you?
It was cool. You know, I went to mostly parochial schools, so there weren't too many brothers and sisters in my class. So I learned to integrate and have best of friends with Italians and Indians and Irish kids, you know, most of my life in my childhood.
Got you. Did you play any sports growing up with your height?
Yeah, I was a basketball player.
Basketball. And how far did you go playing basketball?
Well, I was all everything in New York, and I was second leading scorer in the city. I went to Loyola Marymount University, played there, and then I became a drama major, but then I played some pro ball in Europe for Team Rome.
Got you. So how did you go from playing ball to transitioning into acting and music?
You know, to be honest with you, when I was young, when I was in grammar school, I did this rock and roll revival at my grammar school, and it was like we had to do it 2 extra nights because it was sold out. And so, but when I went to an all boys prep academy, they didn't have a drama department, so I just excelled in b-ball. And so, you know, what happened is that a graduate film student chased me down campus when I was on scholarship at Loyola Marymount and asked me to be in his film called The Photographer. And I was like, well, why do you want me to be in your film? Why don't you get somebody in theater arts? I'm sure they'd be, you know, they're really excited about that. And he was like, no, there's something about you. I've been watching you. I have an eye. He says, you're going to be in the movies one day. I want to be the first one to do it. So I was like, all right. So I tried it, and I had an experience that we all have. You know, when, you know, you sit down with somebody you just met, but you feel like you've known them longer than that time you spent with them. Mm-hmm. That's the way I felt on a movie set. So I switched my major over to drama, and I became a drama major and started doing theater.
Wow. So it's kind of like, you know, God put certain people in your life and make you cross paths with certain people sometimes to help you discover your gift.
Yeah, you know, any one thing. I could have chose a different school. I was thinking about going to Long Beach State. I was thinking about going up to Santa Clara. You know, because I wanted to go to school in California for some reason. I don't know why. That's part of something else. Like, well, why was my destiny in California? You know, I'm a kid from Mount Vernon in the Bronx, you know, and all I could think about is California. And I'd never been. So that was just, I guess that was something calling me to be there.
There you go.
So, you know, just things work out that way.
Mm-hmm. And then years later, you see that you made a great choice.
Well, I made a choice. I made the most of my choice. Put it that way.
I want to talk about your career, right? When you first started, so just for a little bit. I know you were in a few films throughout the '80s, and around like '89, you was in the Madonna. I remember being in the '90s, being a kid, and seeing it come on MTV, and seeing you in the video, Madonna.
Like a prayer. Like a prayer.
Yeah, like a prayer. How did that come about? Did you know Madonna prior to, or how did that situation come about?
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't know her really. I had, met her once when she was married to Sean Penn, because I was friends with Sean's younger brother. But she didn't remember that. So no, they were doing a worldwide search for this guy. They were looking at models and all kind of guys, and they came to my agent and asked me if I would be interested in doing it. And originally I said no. I was like, because I consider myself a serious actor. I just did about 4 studio films. I'm like, okay, why would I want to be dancing around in a music video with Madonna? I mean, because I'm thinking that's all you see in music videos at that
videos,
time.
Right? It's dancing around.
Yeah, so, and then they came back around again and asked me would I at least consider it, and my agent said, Mary Lambert is a film director. She did this, whatever, and I was like, she says, okay, why don't you maybe something to come out of it? If nothing else, you guys will work together on something else. And I said, okay, cool, whatever. So I went up there and I met with them, and she had a whole gang of women up there, and they were just like buzzing around, whatever. And she explained to me, that she wanted me to act. She wanted me to play 2 different characters, and it wanted to be a statue that came to life, and then also be the victim, of the police, accusing the wrong person. And I was like, oh, okay. And you want Madonna to adore me and kiss my feet? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I can do it. So, yeah. So, and then they played the song for me, and I knew the song was gonna go #1. As soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, this song's gonna be a smash. But the odd thing about it was, I figured that when it came out, it would be like the front page of the calendar section or the art section, I didn't know it was going to be lead-off story at 6 on the news everywhere.
But
like
it was
front page.
Very controversial.
Yeah, it was like, it was front page, and I was like, no, because Pepsi jumped in and pulled their campaign on her, because that made it controversial right off the jump. So, because people were like, oh, what is it? What is in this video? The Pepsi like canceling all this money they paid her, right? And so that gave it all the crazy hype. And then it wound up being, after all of that, wound up being the #2 video of the century behind Thriller.
Behind Thriller, right?
Yeah.
So controversy, sells.
Yeah, no question, no question. Yeah, no question.
After that, you continue to work, and then in '91 we get this classic. At the time, of course, I don't think people knew it was going to be a classic. Well, we get the legend, the classic, The 5 Heartbeats. How did that situation come about with you and Robert Townsend?
Well, it's really funny because it's like a continuing story. You just happen to ask questions in succession where the story just continues. So, actually, Robert Townsend, well, he was being told by Jackie Brown, who's the casting director, that you gotta meet this guy Leon, because he wrote the movie for him and Keenan Ivory Wayans. And Keenan Ivory Wayans wrote 5 Heartbeats. Robert Townsend and Keenan Ivory Wayans. And then they voted for them to both star in it as brothers. And then it took a while for the movie to get made, and Keenan got In Living Color, so he couldn't do it. So Robert got to pick whoever he wanted to be his brother. And Jackie Brown, the casting director, was telling them about this, about this guy, which was me. And he just so happened to go to the MTV Music Awards, and I was there with Madonna. And that's when he saw me, and then the next day I heard he wanted to meet me, and so we met and we talked, and But if you really want to see everything about this story in the 5 Heartbeats, what you should do is stream Making the Five Heartbeats. It's a documentary about the making of the movie. Robert's whole journey.
Do you know what it's on?
Excuse me?
Do you know what platform it's on?
Yeah, it's on UMC.TV. UMC.TV.
UMC.TV.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole making of the Five Heartbeats.
Right, the making of the Five Heartbeats. It's a documentary movie that it got nominated for an Image Award last year. Yeah, it's Robert's whole journey from the time he was a kid into the making of the movie, the struggles, everything. Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. If you're a fan of the Five Heartbeats, you'll really enjoy it.
One of my favorites, man. One of my favorites.
Exactly.
I told my fiance, I said, before we get married, you gotta. I told her, before you get married, you gotta sit down and watch the Five Heartbeats with me. And the other day, she sat down and watched the Five Heartbeats with me. You know,
but wasn't her first time though.
It wasn't my first time. I said I seen some of it and then I fall asleep.
You hear this? She's seen some of the movie. She's never seen the whole movie.
I'm a grandma. I'm sorry.
She falls asleep on movies. But the other night, I played the Five Heartbeats. You did not fall asleep.
And she watched the whole thing from the beginning.
She watched the whole thing.
Yes, right. I watched the whole thing that time.
She was still there.
All right. You officially one of us now. Officially.
You're officially part of the club.
Okay.
Yeah. Because everybody, some people get their Negro stripes taken away from them. We don't,
Certain movies, you gotta be. You gotta be in too.
That's what he told me. I'm not black enough.
Well, if you hadn't seen the Five Heartbeats, he was probably right.
Hello. Leon, my brother, what was your most I don't want to give too much away because I know there's a documentary on it, but what was your most memorable moment with filming that movie?
I don't know if I had the most memorable moments. There were so many moments for so many different reasons, on and off the set. So, yeah, it's just too many memories. Yeah, too many memories.
There we go. When it first came out, it wasn't a smash out the gate. But years later, we know what it is now. Everyone knows what it is now. Why do you think that the movie didn't? It's a great film. Why do you think that the movie didn't get the recognition, I guess you want to say, when it was first released?
No, why it didn't open up well and do well. There was a few circumstances surrounding it. One, there wasn't a trailer in the movie until very late in the game because Robert and the studio didn't agree on what should be in the trailer, and they wound up releasing a trailer with just a bunch of guys with conch hairdos dancing. And, Brothers and New Jack City had just come out, so that wasn't the kind of movie that people was like checking for, and that's not what they should have had in the trailer. They should have had like Big Red hanging my man off the balcony. That's people like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how I'll check that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So whatever. And then you have the situation. New Jack City came out and there was violence at the movie theaters. So now anything that comes in right behind that was suffered. So.
Wow, never knew that. So it was a lack of promotion. And was following right behind New Jack City, and it was pretty much a poor trailer.
Then it just became like a cult classic and was voted the #1 African American movie in the last 25 years.
Yep. And next year they'll make 31 years since the Five Heartbeats.
Something like that, yeah. It was a great time, to actually be there, with 4 other brothers, all of us, really, wonderful in their own right. And, there weren't movies like that at that time. So, we were very happy and very fortunate to spend that kind of time. And we were very fortunate that 20th Century Fox believed in the movie the way they did, that they sent us all over the place, private planes, everything, first class treatment because it scored high. But, they just didn't market it right.
Before I move on, man, we gotta give it up for the Five Heartbeats. My second favorite movie of all time, of course, is The Temptations. Whenever I see it come on TV, I have to watch it. Sometimes it's coming on VH1, and different things like that. And, you know, that's commercial networks. It's hours and hours and hours. Like it'll take up your full day. But every time it comes on, if I'm flipping through, I have to watch it. How did you land the role as David Ruffin in that movie? Did it have something to do with the 5 Heartbeats?
Well, yeah, they have. Well, no, it has something to do with the 5 Heartbeats in the sense that after the 5 Heartbeats, I met Otis Williams, and Otis Williams told me that he has a book that they're gonna make into a movie, and he wanted me to play him. And so
Otis wanted you to play him.
Yeah, and so when it came around to them making the movie, they said before we go any further with negotiations, just want to know. I know Otis wants you to play him in this movie, and we're fine with that. We just want to know what role you think you should play. And I told him, well, I said I'd be honored to play Otis, but I said I'd probably best serve this movie if I played the role of David Ruffin. And they were like, "Oh my God, we're so happy you said that. We don't know who would have played that role if you didn't play it." And so that's how that happened.
Wow. Do you remember how long that movie took to shoot?
Excuse me?
Do you remember how long that movie had made? How long it took for you guys to shoot that movie?
You know, I'm not sure. Anyway, somewhere between 7 and 9 weeks, but we had 6 weeks of rehearsal though. Yeah, so you know the Temptations they were precise in their movements, man. You know, so you know between learning all the routines and songs and stuff, it was yeah, it was work. You know, it's the same. It was the same thing with the 5 Heartbeats, man. Like weeks of rehearsal. You know,
of course.
You're in the dance studio every day. Every day, with a great choreographer, and you just It's cool though. I mean, I like those kind of situations. So things that make you work. I mean, make you work, not just your mind, and it works your body. You know, you have to get forced to put yourself in a certain situation, like like it was for me in Cool Runnings. You know, for me, I had to make sure my body looked like that of a real runner.
That's a really step into character.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's my job. Realistically, my job as an actor is to bring to life the writer's words and his character. I'm supposed to just breathe life into it to where you think he's real. That's my main job. Okay. So in order to do that, I always think it's best for the first time the person lays eyes on you, for them to believe that you are exactly what you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So whether it's, you're at the Olympic trials and you're getting into your stance, and people look at you and think, oh yeah, he looks like a runner, or whether it's the opening concert in Australia with Little Richard, it's like at the first moment you just got to be like, oh yeah, that's him, like because once you do that, then you can take the audience anywhere. Once they believe that you are the person that you're supposed to be, you can take them anywhere.
And I'm pretty sure, like, this movie, like, even with social media, of course, everyone's favorite line from the movie, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. It has just that picture, and I'm pretty sure you've seen the memes all over the internet, probably.
Of course.
Tagging in the memes and different things like that.
Of course.
It introduces the movie to a whole new generation. Just at the same time, that line I read somewhere. I can't remember where I read it at, but I read that line wasn't in the script.
No, I know. It's something I improvised.
Wow, and it became like, just that one line right there became a stamp of the movie.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I see that sent to me or written to me or somewhere every day of my life.
Wow. Another classic I want to touch on, Above the Rim, like you just spoke about, how you had to get fit, you had to be right for that movie. How was it like working with the late great Tupac on that?
It was cool. I mean, with me, it was 100% because he had respect for me because I was in the Five Heartbeats. That's what he said to me right after jump. He was like, "You ain't have a problem with me because you in the Five Heartbeats." So yeah, he was 100 with me, always right on time, and you know, he did his thing, and I thought he shined in the scenes with me, and I like that because you know my character was more of a silent character, so he had to carry most of the dialogue in the scene, and I thought he drove it effectively, very well. I definitely thought he definitely had something.
I read somewhere as well that Denzel was supposed to be in the movie at some point?
No, no. I mean, I read when they did an article on me in the LA Times. That's the first time I heard of it, but I guess that they said that they had offered that role to Denzel. But, you know, so what? They offer everything to Denzel. I mean, what does that mean?
Denzel had to call first, and then
The only thing that means is that the role is going to be a brother. That's what it means. Okay. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
At that time,
they offer everything to Denzel, and I ain't mad at him. You know, it's one of my boys, man. So I'm cool with it.
Being from Mount Vernon, did you ever cross paths or know each other at all?
No, I mean we know each other well now. I mean, yeah,
Right.
we're part of the same crew, but no, not back then.
Gotcha.
Not back then. Gotcha. You know, he was older than me, and also into acting before I was. So I didn't meet him until really on a basketball court in West Hollywood.
Wow.
But my family's business. My family owned a beauty salon, and that's where his mom would get her hair done for years. That's how people are connected. You don't even know that. You know what I'm saying?
In 2000, this year makes 20 years. I gotta get you to see that too. She hasn't seen Little Richard yet, so I gotta get my fiance to see Little Richard.
Come on now,
I'm putting you on blast.
Everybody taking my black card now.
And I never do this on the show. I never put her on blast on the show. Public. She's executive producer. I never put you on blast like that, but she's never seen Little Richard. We don't get to see Little Richard.
You know, I know a really good marriage counselor if you guys are interested. Okay.
We have problems.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned, and I'm just meeting y'all, and I'm already concerned.
I'm not from here. I'm from Belize. I was born in Belize.
Oh, okay.
And I was raised in the Bronx.
All right.
So my upbringing was a little different. You know, Caribbean parents.
Listen, I know all about it, and but all I'm just saying is that you might have a little something to work out, because once you mix that straight up American Negro with a foreign Negro, there gonna be some things that's gonna go astray.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's just gonna be in the translation. There's no love loss. It's just gonna be like you're gonna have to translate a few things.
Oh man. Working on Little Richard, was Little Richard ever on set with that movie? Like, was he ever on set, kind of?
Yeah, he came.
Walking you through?
He came one day that I saw. I remember, and he might have just been someplace where I didn't see him on another days, but yeah.
Got you. And any advice, anything he said to you that because you did a hell of a job in that role.
No. After I initially met him and spent time with him, we didn't talk about it at all. I just did my thing.
At this time, a lot of actors didn't want to play homosexual roles, especially just being a black man in America, especially at this time. How did you prepare yourself mentally to step into the character as Little Richard? Was there any?
For one, it wasn't. It wasn't really. You didn't really go that deep in that movie, so there was nothing really to adjust to other than to being real. To be a man that is conflicted. and also having to deal with a father that was very strict, didn't allow him to be who he wanted to be. So you just have to imagine, you know, and luckily I'm an observer of life. So I've observed people that have gone through things like that. And so I take from that as well. I think that's one of the beauties of acting is, you know, being able to delve into another person's or your character's psyche and imagine what it would be like if you felt this way and if you had to go through this and you were afraid to be who you actually are. You know, that's a hell of a feeling. I've never had that in my real life. So to put myself into characters like that is always very interesting to me.
What would you call your most challenging role if you had one?
You know, I mean, you know, there to me, you know, for the most part, if you're playing a role and where you're allowed to have the time to delve deep into your role and be part of you know, a memorable storyline, it's all work. It's hard work to me. I mean, it's hard work to get a movie to be good. It's hard work to, um, yeah. I mean, it's enjoyable when you're doing it well, but you know, there's a lot of things have to go right when you're making a movie, and you know, the bigger the budget, the more things have to go right. So,
There you go.
and the smaller the budget, the more things have to go right. Is what I meant. So,
Got you. Got you. Was there ever a role that you auditioned for that you really wanted that you didn't get?
no, because I don't. You know, I'm lucky to say I don't really approach things like that. You know,
I
I
was
mean,
waiting to. I'm
I
not
think
gonna. I was waiting.
I was thinking that you know, I would say yes, but you know, you learn to just let that kind of stuff go because you know, rejection is so much a part of what we do. You know, it's just like it's just on to the next. You know, and it's not like I'm seeing something that I a movie or a TV show or something and watching somebody do it, thinking, oh man, that should be me. Nah, I don't think that, and I don't think anyone does that when they see me work.
Got you. In public, who do people most identify you with? Of course, besides Leon. You always went as Leon. I just recently found out that your last name is Robinson, but you always went as Leon. And but this, you know, you play some classic roles in public. Yeah, just who people run up to you or see you and automatically, for the most part, who they most identify you with.
You know, it's interesting. I'd say there's like 4 or 5 roles where people yell out my name all the time. I say more people know me for my characters than me, which is what I prefer, to be honest with you. Um, so yeah, I mean, you know, depending on where I'm at, you know, I'll hear Doris Bannock, you know, from Cool Runnings. You know, Psyche, you're dead. You know, if I hear that, no matter where you go, no matter what kind of neighborhood, white, black, or whatever, especially in Canada where I just came from working, and then of course David Ruffin, you know, but then you know J.T. Matthews from the Five Heartbeats. Everybody want to play Shot Brother.
Definitely.
You know, and then with with my sisters, you know, they still trying to get over me being Russell and waiting to exhale. So,
Shout out to Russell, man. I think he's grown.
so you know, it just depends.
Mhm.
Just depends. I'm lucky to say that there's you know, there's a few. It's not just one. Oh yeah, and Shep, please.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know how I could forget Shep. I mean, I go to basketball games, pro ball players be yelling, seeing me yelling Shep.
shit. Oh man. Um, you know, you've had a successful career, 30 years. You've had a successful music career as well. Last week you released a new single with your group, Neon and the Peoples, your band. The world's gonna come around. What was, because it's been a tough year for everyone, but especially in our community. What was the greatest inspiration? What was your most inspiration behind putting that record together?
Well, The World's Gonna Come Around is actually a song that's on my band's latest album, which is called Love Is a Beautiful Thing. And what I did is I did my Art for Activism version of it, which I basically just took the hook and wrote an entirely different song that reflected, today's times and the message I was trying to get across, and which is that we and only we can make change, and that we must vote, and that racism is the real pandemic. Okay, and so I think it was very important to drop that video before the election and to get as many eyes on it as possible, because it is possible. We're talking about the world's going to come around, and if we don't have optimism, then we're dead. It's over. So without optimism, we can't go anywhere. We must be optimistic about this world changing and things getting better. Because if we don't make it better, it all starts with optimism. So, so I always like to put out a positive message, but I think it's also a real message, because I think the video has hard-hitting images, as well as those of hope.
Definitely. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. I watch it since you sent it to me. I think I watched it. It's like once a day. And I've shared it as well.
Appreciate
so
that.
Definitely, King. Everyone, please check that out on YouTube. The world's gonna go around.
World's gonna come around.
The world's gonna come around.
By Leon and the Peoples, and you can just go, and you can also go to my Instagram page, or my Twitter page, and it's there as well. Yeah. So.
What do you think is the next step? Our people need to take in fighting injustice, racism, and for equality?
Well, the very first step is we must have an administration that is in favor of doing that. I mean, that's the biggest thing. So right now we have an administration that's dividing us, and so that has to end first and foremost. That's step number one. Then from there, we must take this moment in time and make it a moment forever. Something an agenda that we constantly push, and we keep pushing, and the bright part about it is not just us this time. We have lots of allies that are not black or brown, and that's really what's going to make a change, because that's what America is. And we can fight all the fight we want, but until we bring in everybody with us on that fight, it's going to be hard to win. But I think that's what we're doing right now, and but we have to continue to do that. We can't let this be a moment in time, and maybe this administration changes, and then we're back to the same thing. We have to keep pushing whoever is in power, about an agenda to make things better. Okay, if it's Trump, then we have to keep pushing him, regardless what they're doing. And if it's Biden, we keep pushing him as soon as he gets in and has something to say. And plain and simple. I mean, it's the way that's just the way it's going to be. We're not going anywhere. We're Americans. We're not going any damn where. We're going to live here regardless of who's there on top. But hopefully, people realize there's more people to vote for, and the Senate is so important. If we, because if you can actually have the Senate in the House, then you can actually get things done.
Right.
So let's see. Let's see what happens, and that's why I made the video. It's part of my art for activism, and let's get out the vote. Let's talk to your friends. Let's talk to your friends that's in those swing states. Okay, where it really matters.
Stay the course. Stay the course. Make your voice heard. and you know, and excuses isn't necessary. It's not gonna get us anywhere. We're not gonna make any progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people feel like, oh, my vote's not gonna count. My vote's not gonna count. It's not gonna count. Continue just to stay the course and fight for what you believe in. Um, my brother, thank you for joining me. Um, anything that you're working on that you can probably discuss, or just tell us what you have coming soon?
No, I mean, I'm working on some things now. I'm working on TV series on Showtime that got halted during the COVID-19, and I just finished a holiday movie for Hallmark, which will be out in December. And yeah, just you know, plugging away, doing my thing, you know, developing my own projects, so I can bring you some of my stories, and yeah, that's it. You know, staying happy, working at it.
There we go, man. I'm definitely looking forward. I know everyone that's tuned in is definitely looking forward to everything that you have coming up, man. You always put out your best foot, your best work. I seen you sometime was it earlier this year or last year? You was in the Set It Off play. That was the first time I ever seen you in a play. Jacarius, and you definitely did your thing and Set It Off as well live. So,
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that play.
at this point in your career, is there anything else that you want to do that you haven't done?
Oh, so many things, man. I feel so young in this business, man. There's so many things I haven't done. I have so many people I haven't worked with. I mean, trust me. I mean, if you'd name top 10, even, you know, African American directors, I'd be lucky if I worked with 3 of them. So, I mean, I have so many people to work with, so many people to do things with. You know, that's one of the things, you know, that keeps me, you know, so vibrant.
Mm-hmm. Who's some of the people that you've drew inspirations from?
You know, I mean, most of the people I draw inspiration from are you know, people, you know, that do other things. You know, I mean, because that's the people I look at. I mean, I don't really look at other actors because I don't play actors in movies. I play other people. I play doctors, lawyers, lovers, you know, whatever. You know, so I'm an observer of people, so that you know that I can accurately play people other than myself
Right.
in movies. You know.
Right. Right. What do you feel has been your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment?
Mm-hmm. Thus
I think
far, because
I
you're
think
still young.
I think
You're still young.
co-parenting. I think co-parenting my daughter Noelle successfully. That's you know that's what I look at as you know that's what's important to me.
There we go.
Yeah,
Fatherhood.
yeah.
Fatherhood. Most important role you probably ever gonna play in your life.
Oh, definitely, no question.
Definitely, man. King, do you have time? We got a lot of questions that came in. Do you have time for a quick Q&A before you get about it?
I got 5 minutes.
There we go. All right. All right. Underscore at Erica Kane said the ladies want to know how you're able to still look so fine.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I can't really take responsibility for that. You know, partially I guess it's genes, and you know, I guess I have a routine. I'm pretty consistent in what I do. I'm under the motto if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I just you know my routine is pretty much the same, and I just you know keep it moving.
Okay. All right. What's it? She is a darling one. Said Leon, after years of interactions with your same peeps, do you get tired and over their interactions?
Hmm?
I'm trying to understand the question too.
What?
After years of
I didn't get
interacting
that.
with
After
the same peeps, do you get tired and over their interactions? Basically, do you get tired of the same shit?
Oh, in the bit from the business?
Yes. after years of interactions with your same peers?
I hope that's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, no, not really. I mean, because your peers are always changing, and so, and then it's good to see people because in this business, you become friends with somebody, and then just because we're entertainers, we hardly get to see each other because neither one of us is home or always crossing paths this place. So yeah, it's I love the whole camaraderie of the business and the positives. And I think most people, once they've been in business for a long period of time, they have the appreciation of that. That they can still see some of the people that they've known for years and still be able to make art and work and make a living. And it's kind of cool.
There we go. Let's take 2 more. Let's see. I'm not gonna pronounce that. She said
80s baby.
Okay. She said, what role did you like better? The BETA better. Out of the 2.
No, there's that. I can already answer the question. I don't like any role. I don't like any role more than the other role.
There you go. Okay. What's the logo on your hat?
This the last one. What'd you say? Logo on my hat?
What's the logo on your hat?
Okay, the logo on my hat. I'm gonna give my man a plug. Robert Glasper, the great and hot musician, is out there tearing up the jazz scene. This is his merchandise. He was happy enough to bestow upon me, so I don't mind letting people know. Robert Glasper. If you don't know about it, you need to ask somebody. Okay.
There you go. Definitely, King. Thank you once again for joining me. Anyone, if you missed this conversation, you can check it out on IGTV right after live. I know we're all going through a lot right now. Praise for our brothers and sisters out in Nigeria. Praise for everyone over here in America. Please make sure that you vote early. Do whatever you got to do. Don't go in there with your phone out trying to take any selfies and trying to do it for the gram. They will kick you out. They will discard your vote. So definitely just stay the course, stay focused. My brother, thank you for joining me. I hope someone has seen this conversation and got inspired. A lot of people are going through different things and people are doubting themselves and falling into sinking places and definitely things like that. So definitely, man, thank you once again, King.
Yes, no problem, man. Bless.
Salute to you. We definitely look forward to everything you have coming. So you have a movie in December, right? For Christmas? It's going to be around Christmas time?
Yeah, definitely. Holiday movie.
On Showtime, so definitely I'll make sure y'all follow Leon on the gram. Is www Leon? Is that what it is? www Leon.